What's up, Raider Nation? Victor here, and I'm telling you right now, this offseason is already shaping up to be the turning point we've been waiting for. Because it's not just about drafting a quarterback anymore. It's about finally building a real team around him, on both sides of the ball. Everybody's talking about Clint Kubiak basically being locked in as the next head coach, and for good reason. The guy just ran an offense that finished top 3 in scoring at 28.4 points per game, while the Raiders were dead last. That alone tells you how massive of an upgrade this could be. Pair that with Fernando Mendoza coming in as the projected #1 pick, and suddenly the Raiders finally have a modern offense, a real identity, and a future at quarterback. But Raider Nation, here's where it gets really interesting. While Kubiak is getting ready for the Super Bowl, reports are already connecting the Raiders to a big-time defensive coordinator, a proven, aggressive mind who's built top-tier defenses and knows exactly how to maximize elite pass rushers, like Max Crosby. And at the same time, there's talk about the Raiders making a smart, low-risk move to bring in a former top 5 draft pick off the edge, a guy who once put up 11.5 sacks in a season, who could finally give Max the help he's never had on the other side of the line. A true buy-low move that could turn this pass rush from average to terrifying overnight. Think about that for a second. An explosive offense led by a young franchise QB and a creative head coach, plus a defense built around Max Crosby, an elite coordinator, and another high-upside pass rusher coming cheap. That's how you flip a franchise. That's how you go from 3-14 to competing. So today we're breaking down why Kubiak's hire could completely modernize this team, how the Raiders could finally fix the pass rush, and why these moves together show this front office is thinking smart, not desperate. But before we dive in, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you're a real Raiders fan. And only subscribe to Raiders Nation Update if you truly believe the Raiders are about to rise back up this year. All right, Raider Nation, let's talk about how this rebuild is turning into something real. Raider Nation, if I told you right now the Raiders might be one smart trade away from finally giving Max Crosby some real help on the edge, a former top 5 draft pick, a guy who once put up double-digit sacks, and someone we could buy low on while the rest of the league sleeps. Yeah, this could be one of those moves that makes the NFL look foolish. Today we're talking about a star pass rusher possibly coming to Las Vegas, how Clint Kubiak's new era is already taking shape, and why this could completely change the Raiders' defense. Let's get into it. Kubiak era begins. Offense fixed, now defense time. So, as we all know by now, the Raiders are expected to name Clint Kubiak as head coach after the Super Bowl. This front office clearly wanted an offensive-minded coach to grow with their projected #1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. And let's be real, they had to fix that offense. In 2025, the Raiders finished dead last in scoring, dead last in total yards. Literally the worst offense in football. So Kubiak plus Mendoza should bring a major turnaround. But Raider Nation, offense alone doesn't win championships. Because while the defense wasn't horrible, it wasn't great either. 25th in points allowed, 14th in total yards allowed, and outside of Max Crosby, this pass rush was basically non-existent. Malcolm Koonce was second on the team with just 4.5 sacks. That's not going to scare anyone. And that's why Kayvon Thibodeau rumor is very interesting. Raiders target Kayvon Thibodeau, buy low opportunity. Bleacher Report's Alex Ballantyne is suggesting the Raiders should go after Kayvon Thibodeau via trade from the Giants. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense. The Giants' pass rush is now built around Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, which makes Thibodeau kind of the odd man out. He's not their priority anymore, which means opportunity for the Raiders. Let's remember who this guy is. 5th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft Elite Athleticism Explosive Edge Rusher. When healthy in 2023, he had 11.5 sacks in a full 17-game season. That's legit production. That's Pro Bowl-level pass rush. Why his value is low right now. Now let's be real. There's a reason the Giants might move him. Over the past 2 seasons, missed 12 games total, missed 7 games in 2025 alone. Only 2.5 sacks last season. And he carries a $14.8 million cap hit. That's not cheap. But here's where it gets interesting. The Raiders have plenty of cap space this offseason. They can easily absorb that contract. And because of injuries and low production, his trade value is reportedly around a mid-day 3 pick in the 2026 draft. We're talking a 4th or 5th rounder. That's basically nothing for a former top 5 talent with double-digit sack upside. Why he's perfect next to Max Crosby. Now imagine this. Offenses already have to double-team Max Crosby every single snap. Now you put Thibodeau on the other side. Who are you helping? You can't double both. Crosby gets more one-on-ones, Thibodeau gets easier matchups, the entire pass rush improves instantly. That's how elite defenses are built. And if Thibodeau returns anywhere close to his 2023 form, this becomes one of the steals of the year. And if it doesn't work, the Raiders walk away after the season with almost no long-term risk. Low cost, high upside, smart football move. Should Raiders do it? In my opinion, John Spytek should absolutely make this call. We've spent years watching Max Crosby carry this defense alone. Enough is enough. This is the type of aggressive but smart move winning teams make. Worst case, you lose a mid-round pick. Best case, you create one of the most dangerous pass rush duos in the NFL. And with Kubiak fixing the offense, this team could finally be balanced again. Now, Raider Nation, I want to hear from you. Would you trade for Kayvon Thibodeau? Is he the perfect partner for Max Crosby? Or should the Raiders look elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I respond to everyone. Raider Nation, what if I told you the Raiders aren't just fixing the offense? They might be about to bring in one of the best defensive minds in the entire NFL. I'm talking about a coordinator who has built elite pass rushes everywhere he goes, a guy who knows how to turn good defenses into dangerous ones, and now he's being directly connected to Las Vegas. Today we're talking about Jim Schwartz possibly joining the Raiders coaching staff, what this means for Max Crosby, and how this could finally fix a defense that's been stuck in the middle of the league. But before we jump in, smash that like button if you bleed silver and black, hit subscribe if you believe the Raiders are rising again, and help us reach our goal of 1,500 subscribers right here on Raiders Nation Update. Let's get into it. Kubiak era is coming. Now the staff is taking shape. So by now, Raider Nation, everyone around the league expects Clint Kubiak to become the Raiders' next head coach once the Super Bowl wraps up. And while he's busy prepping Seattle's offense for the Patriots, behind the scenes he's already starting to build his future staff. And this is where things get exciting. According to Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer, the Raiders are now being linked to Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. And if you know football, you know that name carries weight. Schwartz is one of the most respected defensive minds in the league. Why Jim Schwartz is a big deal? Let's talk real results. Under Schwartz, the Browns' defense has been consistently top 5 in sacks, top tier in pressure rate, one of the hardest units to score on. In recent seasons, Cleveland has ranked near the top of the NFL in total defense and pass rush production. That's not accident. That's coaching. Schwartz builds aggressive, attacking defenses that get after the quarterback. And Raider Nation, that fits this roster perfectly, especially when you already have a monster like Max Crosby. The Cleveland situation. Why he could leave. Now here's the drama part. Schwartz is still under contract in Cleveland for 2 more years, but reports say he was visibly upset when the Browns passed him over for their head coaching job and instead hired Todd Monken. And in the NFL, when a coach feels disrespected like that, that's usually when exits happen. Albert Breer even said he wouldn't be surprised if Kubiak makes a strong push for Schwartz once Seattle finishes their season. Why Las Vegas makes perfect sense for him. Now think about this from Schwartz's perspective. In Cleveland, he helped build a dominant pass rush. In Vegas, he'd walk in and immediately coach one of the best edge rushers in football, Max Crosby in 2025 alone. Double-digit sacks, among league leaders in pressures, played nearly every defensive snap again. The man is a machine. Now, imagine Schwartz designing blitz packages, stunts, and pressure schemes around Crosby. That's scary. That's how you jump from average defense to top 10 real quick. What this means for the Raiders' defense. Let's be honest, the Raiders' defense has been stuck in the middle. In 2025, 25th in points allowed, 14th in total yards allowed, not terrible, but not winning football either. With a coordinator like Schwartz, that could flip fast. His defenses are usually top in sacks, strong against the run, disciplined but aggressive, exactly what this team needs. And if the Raiders add even one more legit pass rusher this offseason, this defense could become a real problem for the AFC. Should Raiders go all in? In my opinion, Raider Nation, this would be a home run hire. Kubiak runs the offense. Schwartz controls the defense. That's balance. That's modern NFL structure. That's how contenders are built. We've been asking for years for this franchise to get serious about coaching. This feels like the first time in a while they actually are. Now I want to hear from you. Would Jim Schwartz be the perfect defensive coordinator for the Raiders? Do you think he leaves Cleveland after being passed over? Could this finally turn the Raiders' defense into a top unit? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget Raider Nation. Like the video, subscribe to Raiders Nation Update. Help us hit 1,500 subscribers, because the comeback starts now. This is Victor, and as always, just win, baby.